Prior to coming to Tiglin, my life was controlled by a substance. In the lifestyle of an addict, you don't get the opportunity to hear the beautiful sounds that are going around you. Where we are in Ashford and Wicklow, it's very special. You know, there's lots of wildlife around. I first started to hear the birds singing, and there was no other noise, no cars, no madness in my head, and I could hear it, and it was beautiful. You know, it was freedom.
I actually couldn't believe where we were driving up to by the sea. When I came in, everyone was so friendly, couldn't do enough for you. All the girls were fantastic as well. I had lost all passion for everything, and when I got down there I was ready to say, right, come on, let's do this. You're not brought in here just to get sober, or you're brought in here to get well in all aspects of your life. So a big part of it was just bringing me back to me, but even a better version of me.
Myself and our now CEO, Phil Thompson, we started Tiglin in 2008. The idea was to help people who have come undone in life for whatever reason, usually life-controlling problems, substance abuse. I had addiction in my own family, so to try and see if we could make a difference in this area.
I grew up in Finglas, a very happy family. Life was good in Finglas, and then we decided to move from Finglas to Dunchalklin. My husband decided to change jobs then after a couple of years, and he went taxiing. The two of us would have went out, we would have been party animals, the pair of us together, until it got to the stage where I wasn't the party animal, I was the party demon, because I was starting to do things that I would never have done before, like drink driving, and all my friends kept saying, this is not you, Michelle, this is not you, but I couldn't see for you. My poor husband, I remember actually today we were sitting at the bar and we had finished paying our last mortgage repayment, and I just happened to say to him, I said, what are we going to do to celebrate? And he actually just says to me, I don't want to celebrate anything, I just want my wife back.
I had tried to break the cycle of addiction many other times. Very difficult. I came here a very broken man, very dark inside. And if I'm to be completely honest, I didn't have much hope in residential treatments. What was going to be different here? Once I came with my family, that calmness came. You know, calming environment, the people were very welcoming. It felt like a place of love, you know, where I didn't have to worry. I was going to give it my best effort. I was about to lose family, I was about to lose myself. You know, I was on the verge of dying.
I often think of Desmond Tutu, and he said, we need to stop pulling people out of the river, which Tiglin was doing for years, pulling people out. He said, you need to go up the river and find out where they're falling in. And one of the key areas where they were falling in is qualifications, education, no CV.
The project came about through an existing collaboration between South East Technological University Faculty of Lifelong Learning and Tiglin. We submitted a case study to the HEA, and we were successfully awarded over 800,000 to deliver higher education programmes to the Tiglin community. I see firsthand the impact that it's having on people's lives. It's very, very hard to quantify that, and I know that we will only see the impact of it over time, but it's so worthwhile.
Many people, when they think of rehab, when they think of overcoming addiction, they don't always think about education. But when you bring it into the process of rehabilitation, it means that their self-worth can develop at a very early stage. Partnering with SETU has changed the way in which we can deliver our programs. We developed a model based around the biopsychosocial spiritual model. So they're like pillars that are within each person's life, and when it comes to rehabilitation and particularly overcoming traumatic events and rebuilding your life after addiction, focusing on those four elements is where a lot of the work happens. The notion and the idea of sobriety alone is a terrifying thing for many people. They're not met with the first thing, which is, we're going to educate you. They're met with welcome and love. But along that journey, when they start to believe in themselves and when other people have shown that they too believe in them once again, they then reach education, and I suppose, take that opportunity to learn, to choose a course that maybe might fulfill them in a different way.
I was terrified because schooling was not for me, definitely not, because it was a long time since I even put pen to paper and set in the classroom mode as learning again and constantly concentrating on what was being said to you. And Tig Linn and SETU definitely helped me through the whole process of it. I could never envision myself being in the place I am today.
Education for me was always very daunting, very frightening. In that space of time, the treatment that I had received had got me into a place where, okay, I felt I was able to do this. So I enrolled, I asked could I take part in the next course that came, and that was the start of my educational journey then. I found very quickly, through the great help of the tutors that were on site, that I had the capability to do assignments, to take notes, to be part of groups, subgroups, within the learning environment. It sparked something within me that I never had experienced before in recovery.
Well, I had a wonderful experience a number of months ago when I attended the graduation ceremony at Tig Linn, and it was a marvellous occasion, so positive. It's very clear the impact that the partnership with Tig Linn and the university has had. The sense of community between the participants in the programme has been so strong as they supported each other and celebrated each other's success. I believe this has had a transformative impact on the participants, which is hugely rewarding for our university to see that. It's had an impact on them as individuals and on their families, and that's really what SETU is about having an overall positive impact and societal benefit for the region and beyond.
What I really enjoy watching is how over the weeks they start really getting interested. They start asking you questions. You can see that they enjoy what they're learning, and you can just see that they gain confidence. There's no question about that.
I feel so much more confident in myself. The more I'm going on, things are coming my way that I would never expect it to achieve. Like, I don't say I can't do anything anymore. And the gratitude of life itself and what you can actually do if you put your mind to it. And that's a major part of how I am still here today. The first thing is to get on the right road and the right track and to keep on it.
This project is changing lives. We've set out very ambitious targets for the lifetime of the project. So for example, in the first year, we expect to deliver over 100 programmes to people within the Tig Linn community, and I expect that to rise to over 300. We've seen a completion rate of about 98%, which is really high, and that's testament to the students and the lecturers.
When people finish Tig Linn, they don't just graduate from our rehab services, they graduate from SETU, and I think that means they view themselves and the world radically differently.
There's something that we use here, and it says be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I don't think like I used to think anymore. I'm not an addict, I help people, and that's because my mindset has been transformed, and what SETU have done here in partnership with Tig Linn is the reason it is.